Hi everyone, happy Thursday and welcome to your English lesson. So it's Thursday the 14th of January 2021 and today we're going to be writing for a purpose and we're going to be looking at using speech to add detail to our stories. So for our starter, we're going to read the sentence out loud to see if it makes sense. Oh, it's a good thing I read that out loud to see if they make sense. No, there's only one, to see if it makes sense. And we're going to fix any mistakes that we see. Remember, just like we would do in our workbooks, your teacher will show you in a green pen if you have any mistakes or any spelling mistakes that you need to fix. So if you see any green, then you know that you need to have a look at your tricky words and spell it correctly. Once there was a clever mouse and she went for a stroll in the deep dark woods. So let's have a think about what we need to have. We know we see the green, so we need to fix our spelling. Can you pause the screen and have a go at writing down that sentence? I'll just circle the sentence so you know exactly what you need to write, but you're going to write it properly, fixing the spelling and having a look to see if you need any capital letters or full stops or any other punctuation. So pause the screen and have a go yourself, and then we'll take it up when you get back. And welcome back. So we're starting with our spelling. So I can say once there was, it's not the, it's there. And we say there like over there from phonics. So hopefully you remember that we spell it T-H-E-R-E. Once there was, so we're taking away the was because we know was again as a tricky word from our phonics. Once there was a clever mouse, and she went for a stroll in the deep dark woods. So it makes sense. The words are in the right order. It doesn't sound funny or strange. We had to fix our spellings. And now we're having a look to see if we have a capital letter. We know we need a capital letter at the start. So that O on once needs to become a capital. And we need a full stop at the end of our sentence to make it proper. So have a look at your sentence, see if you were able to fix the spellings and if you caught the capital letter and the full stop. If there were any names in this sentence, we would also need a capital letter on the names, but we do not have any names. So have a look and see if there's anything you need to fix, and well done. The more we practice editing our sentences, the better we'll be able to do it when we're looking at our own reading. And especially tomorrow when you write your Gruffalo story, you're going to need to be able to read your work over and to be editing it. So it's a good reminder and a good bit of practice for us today. So today we're learning to write for a purpose to use speech. So remembering that we have to say our sentence out loud, write our sentence, use adjectives, use conjunctions, and revise and edit if it doesn't make sense. And just in the little circle over here, our top set challenge, when we're doing our speech bubbles, we have to have a think if we can add a question or an exclamation to make it a bit more interesting and exciting in our story. So have a look at the picture from the story. And we've put the speech bubbles in so you can see where they might go. And have a think, what might the characters be saying to each other? If you need to go back to your story map that we made the other day, you should have one yourself. It looks like that. Have a think about when you're doing your story map, what might those characters be saying to each other, mouse and fox? And just pause the screen and have a little think, share it out loud, and we'll come back and share some together. Right, so at this part in the story, we've got Mouse walking down on her stroll, and she comes across Fox. And what does Fox say to her? He says, "Where are you going, little brown mouse? Where are you going, little brown mouse?" And what kind of sentence is that? Is that a telling sentence or an asking sentence or a regular old statement? Where are you going, little brown mouse? It's like asking sentence. It's a question, so we need to make sure that we're showing a question mark when we're asking a question. Where are you going, little brown mouse? And what does the mouse say? I'm having lunch with a Gruffalo. I'm having lunch with a Gruffalo. And that's quite exciting or dramatic because a Gruffalo is very frightening and exciting. So we could use an exclamation mark to show that it's an exciting event. So having a think and then reading it over to see if it makes sense, if the characters would say that to each other. Where are you going, little brown mouse? I'm having lunch with a Gruffalo. Sounds good. And I've read it over. I've looked at punctuation. I'm stretching out my words to write my sentences. So now we've got another set of speech bubbles, and we have the mouse talking to the owl. So what might the owl be saying? We know the owl says, "Where are you going, little brown mouse? Come and have lunch in my treetop house." So maybe this time around we can stretch it out and say more than just the question. Where are you going, little brown mouse? The question mark. Come and have lunch in my treetop house. The full stop. So inside the speech bubble, it doesn't have to be just one sentence. If you think about what you want your character to say, and the more detail you add, the more interesting your story is going to be. So what might the mouse respond with? Where are you going to, little brown mouse? Come and have lunch in my treetop house. What does the mouse say? Oh, I'd love to, but I'm having lunch with a Gruffalo. Oh, I would love to, but, and that's using a conjunction to stretch out our sentence. I am having lunch with a Gruffalo. So adding our sentences inside our speech bubbles. Remember, you do not have to write exactly what I've written. You know what the story needs to say. You've used your story map to say it. So you can add all kinds of different details. And one of my favorite things about reading your stories at school is seeing how different your details are. And when you get really creative and you think about what you want your character to say, it makes your story even more special and different. So I can't wait to see what your responses are and make them as creative and different as you can. And finally, we have the mouse talking to the snake. So I'm going to let you pause the screen and have a think and have a chat about what you'd want to write for that speech bubble. And welcome back. And I'm not going to give you that speech bubble as an example because I've given you two already and I can't wait to see what you come up with for that one. So having a look at our challenge today, on a piece of paper, you don't have to have lines on it. I would like you to choose if you want to try the 1-star, the 2-star, or the 3-star challenge. So if you're doing the 1-star, you just have to do one picture. So you're going to draw a picture of your mouse, draw a picture of your fox, and draw your speech bubbles with what the characters are saying inside, just like we did above. You're going to be drawing that. It doesn't have to be a perfect drawing. You don't have to color it in. It doesn't have to look exactly like the picture, but just as long as we know which character is which. And then if you look at the second challenge, you could do the fox and the mouse, but also do the owl and the mouse. So you can think of some more creative ones. And finally, if you do the 3-star challenge, you will do the fox and the mouse, the owl and the mouse, and the snake and the mouse. So I'll be super impressed if you can do one of them, that's lovely. But if you can do more than one, that's the best challenge that you could do. And up here at the top, you'll see that circle from our steps to success. Because remembering, we want to make our sentences really creative. So we're thinking about where can we use a question? Where can we use an exclamation mark? And you may recall, we've done this at school before, but we've added our speech marks around the speech bubble. We said in a story, you'll see your speech marks around what the character says. So we've often added our speech marks in just like this, around our speech bubbles, just as a reminder that when we write a text, we would put our speech marks in. So lots of different things that you can do to challenge yourself with your writing today and make it really interesting and fun. And remember, the more creative you are today, make sure you save those papers because tomorrow when it comes time to write your Gruffalo story, it will be really helpful for you to have your speech bubbles ready beside you, and then you can just add them into your writing. You've already got that bit planned. Just like your word mat that you made earlier. So whatever you do for your writing, make sure you keep it in a safe space because it can really help you when it comes time to make our big writing task for the unit. So happy speech bubble writing today. I can't wait to see what you send in. Remember to take a picture of your work and email it to year1@thepalmeracademy.com. We love to see your work and give you feedback. And you never know, your work just might end up in the newsletter, which would be pretty cool. So well done. I can't wait to see your work and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.